Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Max and Mimi Gamer here, and today I am going to be doing a tier list on Jurassic World Evolution 2, and yes, it's got audio. I've realised that it is an improvement to have audio, and yeah, if you hear any sounds like this, that's because I'm looking at the species viewer right now as well while we go through the dinosaurs. And yes, this is all the dinosaurs. However, I don't own all the DLCs, so some of them I'll just have to go off what I've seen. And I've seen a lot of most of them, because most of them are really cool, the ones I don't have. Well, most. So we'll be doing all of these. Every single one. Wait, isn't and it probably is the same, tier list as on that the skeleton crew use. If you don't know who they are, just yeah. So yeah, this will also be in alphabetical order, and yeah. So yeah, let's hop into all the dinosaurs. Yeah. So since it's in alphabetical order, first we have the Trunker himself, the Acrocanthosaurus. And it is a really good design. It's very thick. It's a very accurate, this is what I could see an Acrocanthosaurus or even a T-Rex looking like. Because this could be very accurate if they just removed a finger to a T-Rex, you know. Well, they might need to change a bit on the head, but it looks very reminiscent of the prehistoric planet T-Rex in my opinion. But it's a good design, and I really like most of the colouring. Because that's really an advantage it has over the other carnivores of its size. However, it's not the best, but also it's very good, and I do like the Acrocanthosaurus, especially since it is the chonk, and it is so chonky, it even steps on the goat to kill it, and that is just hilarious in my opinion. Then we have the Alamosaurus, who, yes, it is a sauropod, but it's one of my personal favourites. It's a very good design in my opinion. I really enjoy it. However, there are just some sauropods that I enjoy more. However, it's got some of the best coloration out of anyone, as I'm looking through this. It is purely just amazing with its coloration. Really the only one of the sauropods to really do that, because, you know, most of them are kind of bland, but they do mostly make up for that in their size. However, some just don't. And, you know, it's a very cool design, and I personally really enjoy it, and yeah, that's Alamosaurus. Next is Albertosaurus. It's also getting an A, as the previous two have. Because it's a really good design. I really enjoy it. It's very fun. I nearly ranked it as an S, but I just figured there's a few that I prefer more, you know. Yeah, but it is reminiscent of the Walking with Dinosaurs Gorgosaurus or whatever it is. And I watched that movie a lot as a kid, and I even have one of the toys of it. And if I didn't have that, I reckon I would still love it. However, not quite to the extent that I do. Following that up is the first dinosaur I don't have, however I do enjoy it, and that is the Battle at Big Rock Allosaurus. Personally, I think it is a really big improvement over the previous Allosaurus, and I do really enjoy the design. I've even got a figure of it, which really shows how much I do enjoy it. It is a definite improvement over the other ones. It's bigger, it's a whole lot cooler, the design's a bit more complicated, and I just prefer it overall. However, yeah, I probably should have ranked it lower, but who cares, it probably should be a high A, maybe even below Albertosaurus. But I enjoy the design, and it's really quite a cool one. Following up, we have the original Allosaurus design. This one is still really cool, however, it's just completely outclassed by the other one. As I'm looking at it in the species viewer, it is kind of cool, but it is also kind of basic, like in terms of how it looks, and it just doesn't stand out quite as much from the other theropods for me. It is really cool. I love it. Big fan of it. However, it's just way outclassed, and had the other Allosaurus not been released, that probably would have played in favour for this one, and it probably would have gone in a low A. However, everything above it I just think is much more superior, and I enjoy using them more in my park. And then we have a Margosaurus, who's a really nice design. I've seen the fossil of one in real life actually, and yeah, it looks okay for that. Oh, dang it doesn't have that really weird toe like it does in real life. I'm just looking at the design. Yeah, it's a nice design. I really enjoy it. However, it's just completely outclassed by many other things. And it fills the role of slightly spiky herbivore and medium sized. It fills a niche that there's too many other amazing designs in, and unfortunately for that, it means it has to earn a B. I do love you, Amalgasaurus, don't worry. I'll probably bump it up later, and you'll probably see that. Yeah. And next we have my boy, the Ankylosaurus, and I love Ankylosaurus. It's my favourite species. You can see I've even bumped down Allosaurus because I feel like it's just completely outclassed by everything else I'm going to put in S tier. I do really love Ankylosaurus. However, the only thing preventing it from really being godly in the godly tier is that its colorations are not great. They're okay. They're better than some, like the other sauropods. However, I do prefer using the movie skins. But it's absolutely amazing. I love the model. When I first saw it, I thought it was amazing as well. It's just an absolutely amazing dinosaur, and I do really enjoy using them in my parks. And to be honest, they're one of those dinosaurs that a Margosaurus competes with, as I mentioned earlier. And in my opinion, it's just so good, and I love Ankylosaurus. It's also very cute. Most people don't really look at that all the time. It's smooth in the species viewer. You don't often notice that, but yeah. I just love Ankylosaurus, you know. It's very fun, and I love it. It's cute. And going from one of the highest to relatively low, up first C tier is Apatosaurus, and yeah, I do love the model. It's a really good model. However, the colorations are just so plain. They're just grey and brown. Like, that's all you really get, and a hint of green. Like, the patterns are just, and everything other than just like the model just really lets it down, and there's other sauropods that just do what it does so much better, such as the Dreadnoughtus, which is coming up later. Yeah, it's the same thing with Amargasaurus. It's just completely outclassed by other members of its niche. You know, it's a good design. Just give the sauropods better colours, and the Ankylosaurids, and yeah. Next we have Archaeornithomimus, and it is just Archaeornithomimus. It just, I don't like the design. It's kind of ugly. It needs feathers. It's just not good, like, at all. Like, I do not like this design. Yeah, first E tier. It'll probably drop down to F tier later. And the second dinosaur from the multi-pack, we have the Atrociraptor, who, it looks really good. From what I've seen, it's really good. I don't own it, so that's kind of sad. I don't know whether I'll ever get it, but I do enjoy the design. The animations are cool. Yeah, it's much better than something like Archaeornithomimus and Deinonychus, which will be a bit later. Yeah, that's a Troceraptor. I like all the movie skins and the regular skins, so ATR. Next up is Adambarosaurus. I don't own it either. Yeah, it looks good. Apparently the colors are good. I just don't own it, so I don't know. I haven't seen as much of it as well. And there are others that I do have and know of that I just prefer over what I've seen of Adambarosaurus. So yeah. Next up is Australovenator, and it is a second S tier. It's probably because it is really cool. I really love the design. I've seen it. I've seen the reconstructions of it. I've seen fossils of it. In real life actually, not online because I live in Australia and they have it at a museum I went to. Yeah. I also saw the Dinosaurs of Patagonia exhibit there. And if you know where that is, good for you. It's a good exhibit, but I love Australovenator. It's so cool. Oh hey, it's Beethoborodactylus. That's kind of cool. Why is it B, you might ask? Well, it's just because, I like it. I just haven't really used it much. And there's just other pterosaurs I prefer the design of, and it's got really good colorings as I'm looking at it. I might actually bump it up soon, Yeah. Oh, that's a cool skin. Ooh. Yeah. I'm just in the species viewer. I do like it. That looks like an avocado. I like that. I'm at an avocado Barbarodactylus. But yeah. I do like Barbarodactylus. It's just not the best, and there are other pterosaurs I do prefer. So yeah, B for Barbarodactylus. Do you know who B also works for? Baryonyx. Yeah, Baryonyx is cool. I like it. Yeah, it was one of the first dinosaurs I got in. Actually, I think the first in Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's a cool design. It's got some good skins. However, I like. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't really quite as appeal to me as some other dinosaurs do. Like I'm fine with putting it in my park. It's just I prefer putting others in over Baryonyx. That's a real problem with some of the things that I do. I just prefer some things over others. And then we have the Brachiosaurus in S here because I love the Brachiosaurus. I think it's amazing and it's a really good design, and I know it's like doesn't have the best colours, but to be honest, they're a bit better than what I thought than what I remembered. It's really good. I like it, and it's very iconic. If you know what I mean. And it's one of the bigger dinosaurs in the game. Also, it's got plenty of detail, especially for how big the model is. Also, the skins aren't too bad. They're better than a lot of other sauropods. Yeah, so Brachiosaurus is in S tier. And then Camarasaurus gets D tier because it's basically just Brachiosaurus, but smaller, uglier, and just not good. Just worse Brachiosaurus, really. And then we have Carcharodontosaurus in A tier. because I really like the Carcharodontosaurus design. I have a figure of it, and it is a really cool one. Yeah, I like most of the skins. Well, it really depends what you put it with, actually, because some of them don't look great. Like, you can still get ugly skins, you know. Like, no matter how good a dinosaur is, you can still get ugly skins. But I really like the design. It's lots of fun. A really cool dinosaur as well. To be honest, I prefer it over some other species that are very similar to it. Particularly the original Giganotosaurus and probably the Dominion one as well. Yeah, I like the Carcharodontosaurus. Then we have Carnotaurus, who, yeah, I really love the Carnotaurus in this game. It is absolutely amazing, in my opinion. Plenty of good skins. The animations are sometimes very hilarious, and some of them are absolutely great. Just look at it sit. Like it. Is that the sitting animation, the resting animation, and the resting and healing animation are some of the best in the game. Look at it. Very dignified creature. Yeah, and I really like the design of it. Like, it's one of the best designs in the game, in my opinion. Yeah, I love the Carnotaurus, and even in Fallen Kingdom, I thought it was great. In Dominion, it was great. It's just a great dinosaur. I love putting it in my parks. It's just so good, and it's absolutely hilarious at times as well, which makes it all the better. And then we have Sciarodactylus in C tier, and yeah, it's just Sciarodactylus doesn't really impress me quite as much as some other of the flying reptiles do. Particularly one you'll see later. Two actually you'll see later. Even like Barbarodactylus is much better in my opinion. But yeah, Sciarodactylus is okay. And Ceratosaurus gets an S tier because I really like the design of this species. In Jurassic Park 3, in the game, it's also one of the first dinosaurs you can get in Jurassic World Evolution 1, or the first game, which is probably part of the reason I like it so much. And it's a really cool design, really. Yeah, there's plenty of different things about it. It's relatively unique, especially given it's got that one horn and the different stripes and stuff on its tail. I like the Ceratosaurus a lot, really. Yeah. So Ceratosaurus gets an S tier from me. Then we have Chasmosaurus. To be honest, it's not really the most impressive. I feel like there's just so many other better choices you could go with in terms of ceratopsians. It just doesn't impress me, and yeah, so C tier. C. And Chunkingosaurus is basically the same, but a stegosaurid. It does have some kind of fun colours, but you know, nothing too drastic. Yeah, better than some, but not great still, you know. And then we have Silophysis, which also gets a C tier, because it also doesn't really impress me. Like, it's not the best, really. There's just so many more I just prefer to use over a Silophysis any day, really. And Compsognathus is, the only reason it's in C tier is it's just too small to notice, and it doesn't really have any animations to go with it because of how small it is. It does have that one animation where it's attacking a guest, which is kind of cool, but other than that, you just never see it, and there's nothing to really write home about it on like other species, and it's just kind of bland in my opinion. And then we have Corythosaurus, which it suffers the same problem from with a lot of other dinosaurs. It's just completely outclassed by others, and nothing about it is really too special or exciting in my opinion. And yeah, that results in Corythosaurus getting a B tier because I do think it's superior to some of the other members of C tier, but so B tier. Titanosaurus is amazing. Yeah, it's just so cute and I love it, and it's just amazing and I like it. I just really love Titanosaurus. It's just got something about it that makes it so cute, and I want it to be my pet, and yeah, I just want a Titanosaurus. Like in real life, just give me the Titanosaurus. But it's really cute. The skins are pretty good. The model's pretty detailed, and yeah, Titanosaurus. It's also got a little tail globe at the end, and it does absolutely nothing ever. And I just like it for that. It's just a little guy who is cute, and that's all he is. And next we have Cryolophosaurus, who is going in A tier because I think it is an amazing design, and it really is. It's a cool design, and it's unique. And I remember seeing, like, I don't know why, but I think it might have been Dinosaur Train that I watched when I was growing up as a kid, and they had Cryolophosaurus, and I liked it. But I like Cryolophosaurus. It's a very cool design, and everything about it is amazing. Yeah. I just like the Cryolophosaurus. It's just got something about it that makes me like it. It's also smaller than you'd expect, like looking at it. Especially compared to other theropods, but that is because it is relatively early, actually. But I like it. I like Cryolophosaurus. And then we have Donachirus. And I like it. It's a big duck, and I don't have it unfortunately, but I do like the look of it. It's cool. It's got some cool animations. I like Donachirus. Also, it does remind me of the prehistoric planet one. I've seen it quite a bit. So yeah. Also, it's very fluffy, and apparently that's not accurate, but I like the design, and it's a really good model and species. So I like the Deinonychus. And then we have Deinonychus, which is not gonna lie, kind of ugly. It has a few okay skins, but I just don't like it as a whole. You know, Deinonychus is just worse than the other ones that are similar. But then we have Dilophosaurus, which is a design that I think is really good. I enjoy it a lot. I use it plenty in my parks. And it just adds something that other species don't really do. It's a very cool design with plenty of cool animations that it can do. And then we have Dimetrodon, which I think is a really good design. I think it might be accurate. I don't know. It looks good. I like it. It's good in the movie, and it is a good reflection of what it is in the movie. It's got some really good skins, and some stuff I really like about it. It's got a good human kill animation. That's the only one I really see. but it is very good and I like it a lot. And then we have both Dimorphodons, which I am doing at the same time, because they're both ugly and I dislike both of them. It's just one's small and has a bit of fur, and one's bigger and furless and still ugly, both of them. Yay. Ugly bird things that want to kill me. Yippee. And then there's Draco Rex. Draco Rex exists, I guess. Does nothing special. And then we have Diplodocus, which somehow I got out of order. It's a sauropod, but not the most entertaining. It's long, and that's about it. Then we have the original Dreadnoughtus model, which not the biggest fan of. It's kind of ugly, to be honest. Because there's nothing I like about it. It's just ugly. And then we have the Dominion one, which is a complete overhaul of it. It looks much better. The skins are pretty good. Not the best. They could use some work, really. But not bad either, unlike some other sauropods. And I like this one, thankfully. A much better improvement, and I think it is superior to most other sauropods. And then there's Drysaurus, which is probably one of the most mid dinosaurs. It's got okay skins, okay model. It does basically nothing. It is kind of cute though. I have to admit. And then we have the Sungoripterus, which it just adds nothing really, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing I love or hate about it. It's mid. The curved beak is interesting, but not great. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just mid, in my opinion. It does have interesting colours though on some places. And then we have Edmontosaurus, which is a pretty standard hadrosaur. It's quite big actually. Like, you don't really realise how big it is. And yes, that's what she said. It's a fun dinosaur. Some very cool patternings that you have on the face particularly. However, other than that, it's a really standard hadrosaur in my opinion. And then there's Elasmosaurus, which in my opinion is quite ugly. I don't really like it. There's just nothing that I enjoy about it. And there are quite a few things I dislike about it, so it's getting a place in D tier. However, it's not quite as bad as Archaeornithomimus. And then we have Euoplocephalus, and it's really quite a good dinosaur. It's an ankylosaurid, as you can probably tell. It's pretty standard looking though for an ankylosaurid. However, it is good compared to some, and there aren't too many that are like proper tail club ankylosaurids in the game. At least not yet, especially not compared to carnivores, which is a bit sad, or hadrosaurs. But I do like Euoplocephalus, and it is a fun little guy who I really appreciate being in the game, and I like Euoplocephalus. I think it's really cool And then there was Gallimimus, and Gallimimus is it's probably my favourite of the ornithomimids, or struthiomids, or whatever they are. However, it's still not the best. However, it's got some nice patterning and, enough to get it into B tier above some of the others in lower tiers. Geostormbergia getting a B. I don't own this one, however, it does look good, and it's, that's Geostenberg does look good. It's relatively distinctive compared to some other ones. However, nothing truly outstanding, and I don't own it, so it could be higher if I did have it. The OG Giga is getting a B for me. However, it is a high B. I haven't rearranged the thing. However, I do like it a bit. However, it's just not quite as good as some of the other carnivores, like T-Rex, the Dominion Giga. I just prefer other carnivores over it. So B tier. And then there's the Dominion Giga. It's getting an A tier for me. Because it is much more distinctive. The colours are actually really good on this one. Yeah. It would have been lower a few months ago when there wasn't the new colour variants. However, with them it's just so much better, and I reckon it's an overall very good improvement over the last one. Plenty of fun patterns. And yeah, I enjoy using this one a lot more than the old one. And I have used it more. Also, it's a movie skin, so they seemingly put a lot more effort into it because it's something from one of the movies. And then there's another small, probably Asian stegosaur. This time, it's just Giga and Spinosaurus, and that's all, really. It's got okay colourings. The pattern's meh. Not very great overall. However, not bad enough for D tier. Herrerasaurus also getting a B from me because, well, it's not the most entertaining, however it is quite cool, relatively distinct compared to others, quite interesting. The patterns aren't great, but if they were, just due to the shaping of them, because it makes it look like in a lot of colorings it's just sick or something. And I've seen it in real life, and it is a bit oversized for the fossil that I saw. However, it is still really cool, and I do like it quite a bit. And then we have Hymilocephalae in A tier. You're probably thinking, why is this little thing in A tier when there's other things that are bigger and cooler than it in B tier? And that is, Hymilocephalae is so freaking cute. And I like it. And it is so cute. I just love Hymilocephalae's cuteness. Like that. That's all it has, and I love it for that. Yeah, so A tier for Hymilocephalae. Oh hey, it's Asian Stegosaur Part 3. This time it's a deluxe one. For God knows why. I did kind of like Huangosaurus in the first game, however, C tier. For me, Ichthyosaurus is also a C tier, however, it is a relatively high C tier. It's just completely outclassed by every other one, and I don't know why you'd use it over one of the other ones. However, it does have some interesting colours, so high C tier, and you'll see that when I redo the tier list. Or rearrange the tier list. And then there's Iguanodon, which is a high B tier for me, because it's got some pretty cool colours, pretty cool everything else, I like it, and this is just the standard one because I don't have the other DLC, and the tier list doesn't include it, thankfully. But I like this Iguanodon. I don't really like the other one quite as much, however, this one's nice, graceful, and basically everything you want your hadrosaurs to be. Also, it's got some pretty cool kill animations with its Death Hog. Up next is the first and my favourite hybrid, Indominus Rex. It's a really cool dinosaur. Probably the most natural of the hybrids, and some people don't like it. I do. Because I want my dinosaurs to look somewhat realistic. It's got some pretty cool kill animations. It's got the camouflage ability, which, is really cool. Good skins. good model, and I do like it. So A tier for me. And then the second hybrid in A tier, we have Indoraptor. It's of course lower than Indominus because I prefer Indominus. However, it is a very cool species. I like it. Definitely close between it and Indominus for my favourite. But yeah, it's just outclassed by Indominus. And yeah, so A tier for Indoraptor. Next up is the Jeholopterus. I don't own it. However, it is so freaking cute, and I just adore it. And its bug eating animation is amazing, and I love it. It's so cute, and I do want it. But Jeholopterus is just amazing. It's just an amazing little guy who I will probably add to every single park I own once I get it. So yeah, Jeholopterus is A tier. The base Kentrosaurus is ugly, D tier. However, the Camp Cretaceous variant of Kentrosaurus is much better and is much more enjoyable. Like, it's just leaps and bounds ahead of anything the other Kentrosaurus has to offer. This one is just so much more better and just a massive improvement, and it looks really quite good. First S tier in a little bit, we have the Kronosaurus, and I reckon it is absolutely amazing. In case you didn't already know, it's just so good. I like every single bit about it. It can eat sharks, it can do everything. Some skins on it look like they're walking with dinosaurs Liopleurodon, more than the Liopleurodon will ever be able to do. It's just so good of a design, and it's got such good animations. And very crocodilian, probably my favourite plesiosaur, like aquatic creature in the entire game. Speaking of which, we next have Liopleurodon, which is a B tier. Because, yes, it looks cool. However, it is kind of ugly in some ways. But it is very crocodilian, and I do like it, especially more than the Elasmosaurus. It's got some interesting colours. However, nothing outstanding in any of them. Though there are some interesting patterns on it. B tier. I don't currently own Lysosaurus, however it does look good, however not as good as some other dinosaurs that I would use in place of it. It's not even a dinosaur, it's a mammal. However it looks okay, kinda cute. However, nothing spectacular, really. In my opinion, Pterodactylus is quite ugly. So D tier. Not the most ugly though, just not good. Same thing with Myosaura, really. There's just nothing to redeem it, in my opinion. It's just boring and does nothing. So D tier. And then going from relatively ugly to just straight ugly, we have Manjungasaurus. And it just has nothing of the good stuff that the prehistoric planet one does, and there's just nothing really to save it from being E tier. So second E tier, and probably below Archaeornithomamus, maybe even F tier. And then there's Mamenchisaurus, which is just completely outclassed by every other sauropod, and it barely appears in any movies, so there's nothing really to go off of. So C tier because I'm completely neutral towards it. And then there's Megalosaurus, which it's quite cool, but really nothing special in terms of carnivores. So, however, it is cool, really. So low B tier, however, better than a majority of C tier. I do quite like it, but yeah, B tier. I am giving the Metriacanthosaurus A tier because I really do like the design. There's a lot of stuff that I find amazing about it. It's got such vibrant patterns. It's It's just such an amazing dinosaur to have in nearly any park. And even the base skin's really good. And when your base skin's amazing, like that's a really good thing. So A tier. And then a high B tier for me is Monolophosaurus because it's got some really good patterns, some of the best in the game actually, in my opinion. But I feel like it's outclassed by a lot of other dinosaurs, so because there's cooler ones. However, it is really quite a cool dinosaur. I do like it, so it is a high B tier from me. And then Minmi is unsurprisingly the first godly tier. Because Mimi's just so great. I love it. Well, it's my channel mascot and everything, so you'd kind of expect me to. I'm not named Majungasaurus Gamer, of course, because Majungasaurus kind of sucks. However, I think that Minmi is absolutely amazing. It's cute. It's medium-sized, not too chaotic. It isn't breaking out every minute and a half. Looking at you, Edmontosaurus, for hating me for no apparent reason. In Jurassic World Evolution 2-1. In Jurassic World Evolution 1. It's really nice. It's an Australian dinosaur. It's just amazing, and you can see that there is no thoughts currently going on behind those eyes, which makes it all the better. And it's just an amazing dinosaur, and I use it in nearly every park I make, except of course Challenge and Chaos Theory ones. But I love Minmi. And then we have Morals Intrepidus. It is just a small little guy. He is relatively cute. It's a good design, however, it's just so small you never see it at all in your parks. I don't own it, but I wish I could. It's just a bit small for you to ever see it in going around. The only time it's really noticeable is when it's attacking something else, which it rarely does, because it goes for the meat feeders instead. So yeah, Morus Intrepidus, B tier. And then in A tier, there's Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus is a really good design. It's really big. It's really cool. However, the skins for it just are not great. There's barely any patterns. Like, the patterns are way worse than they are on nearly anything else. But it looks so good in every other regard. And it's quite sad that it's got such bad patterns. But yeah, A tier is still really good for Mosasaurus. And then Metabarosaurus I do like quite a lot. I learnt about it a lot when I was younger because I live in Australia, so of course I'm going to learn about Australian dinosaurs more. So though it is really nice in the game, it just doesn't always add that much to the parks. It's kind of bland, but I like it. It's a high B tier for me. And then the Pseudoceratops is pretty cool. However, it doesn't have much to really stand out with, especially compared to some other ceratopsians. But I like it. It's a nice dinosaur to have. Definitely less of a pain than it was in the last game as well. But B tier for me on the Pseudo. And then there's a Nigerosaurus. It's okay. It's not the best. It's not great, but it's not the worst. It's interesting, but there's nothing to really stand it out from other sauropods. So Nodosaurus. Nodosaurus does look really good. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's got a few decent colours. Better than some other ankylosaurs. It's actually a Borealopelta. The Skeleton Crew actually pointed that out, but I like it. I like both of those species. Well, mainly Borealopelta, but yeah, yeah, Nitosaurus is good. I like it. And then Tyrannosaurus, it's kind of ugly, not gonna lie. However, it has some okay patternings. Yeah, it's okay. Not great though. And then the other one. Oh, I forgot how good that actually looks. I'll probably bump that up a tier. Like when I do the when I reorder all the tiers. So D tier for the original one. I'll probably bump the other one up to like C or B tier. And then Oviraptor. It's kind of ugly, but it's got some good colorings, and it's a movie-based dinosaur. However, it is kind of small, but yeah, it just doesn't really do much for me. Yeah, so C tier. And then Pachycephalosaurus also gets a C tier for like it's kind of iconic, but the colors aren't like supremely great. They're okay, a bit more vibrant than some. Yeah. It just doesn't look all too amazing, so C tier for the Pachycephalosaurus. And then Pachyrhinosaurus gets B tier. It looks really cool. Apparently it's got some pretty cool colours. I don't own it myself. I don't have the deluxe thing. It looks good. Yeah, probably the main reason why I would get the deluxe edition. I like it quite a bit. Well, Megalosaurus as well, but yeah. And then there's a regular Paro, the Lost World variant. It's pretty cool. It's got some good skins. I'm guessing since only the Dominion ones are included in other things, it also includes the other Paras. Most of them are a bit boring. The skins are pretty good. Yeah. So Parasaurolophus gets B tier, or the Lost World like style of it. And then the Dominion variant I like quite a bit more. It's an A tier, as you can see, because some of them, like, it's got more colour. It looks a bit more elegant, I would say. But in my opinion, it's an improvement, particularly variant A. I really like that one. So A tier. It's also the one they're depicting, so I'm guessing that's what it is. Pentaceratops is a pretty cool ceratopsian. However, it's not the most unique. However, it doesn't it stands out quite a bit as well. I do like some of the colorings, and I do like the species itself. So overall pretty good. So B tier. And then there's Plesiosaurus, which I reckon is quite cool. The head's very snake-like. It's a pretty cool plesiosaur, or aquatic reptile. Some of the base skins are pretty cool in my opinion. However, the other ones the patterns don't really add much other than a stripe along the back. But I like it overall, so B tier for the Plesiosaurus. Then there's Polacanthus, which in my opinion is probably the worst Notosaurid. It just doesn't look quite as appealing to me as the others, and its skins are very, very bland. None of them really do much. So yeah, C tier, it is still kind of good. And then there's Proceratosaurus, which I do like quite a bit. However, it's just completely outclassed by things like Monolophosaurus, that have cooler patterns and stuff. You know, it's just a problem with some species. There's some that just outclass them in different ways. And then the regular Pteranodon is very ugly in my opinion. It probably deserved D tier. E tier, because it's just really ugly. I don't like the model. The colours are okay, but no, they just don't help the model at all. And then the only time I use Pteranodon is using the JP3 skin, because it is just such an improvement and it looks amazing in my opinion. Very elegant. It's what it really should have been for the other one. Make it so that this one has the customizable skins and the other one's just a skin that you can use instead. or at least make it so that you can use different colours on it. And then Pyroraptor. I really like the Pyroraptor. It's such an amazing dinosaur in this game. If you don't know, it was my former channel mascot. Like, that's how good it is in this game. It is just so amazing. There's so many good skins. It's nice model. It's got feathers and everything. There's just a lot of things that are really good with this dinosaur, and very few that are bad. Actually, I can't really think of a bad thing that isn't just like a very minor nitpick about this model. So very good. Pyroraptor is the second and last godly tier dinosaur. And then continuing on the good streak is Shianzalsaurus, because Shianzalsaurus has some very good skins. I like them quite a lot. The model, though, is what really carries this dinosaur up higher, because it is a really good model. It was my first introduction to Shianzalsaurus, and I thought it was amazing. It was really high on my tier list. It's probably in my top 10 favorite dinosaurs. It still is pretty high. However, it's fallen down a bit, but I still love this model. And then we have the largest pterosaur in the game, the Quetzalcoatlus, and I reckon this one's probably the best because it's got really good skins, nice and feathery. It just looks amazing, and I like this model. But it's just so good. So, A tier, but a high A tier from me. And then we have a dinosaur that I do like, but not quite as much, and that is Sauropelta. I like it quite a lot, really. However, it's just got some not very good skins. I like the species and I want to like this model. It's just the skins are so bad. So B tier, yeah. And then there's Scorpius Rex. I do not like this dinosaur. It is ridiculously ugly and nothing can really save it. I guess it does have okay skins, however not enough to save it from F tier, the very, very bottom of the tier list, and I have never used this in a park. Sinoceratops is in A tier because I do really like this design. I think it's quite cool. It's got some pretty cool colours. The face patterns are interesting, There's some very cool colours on it. I just like this model quite a bit. It also makes me wish that sometimes the dinosaurs impale each other. Because this would be the main one to do that. Because it has a big horn. Well, I guess Therizinosaurus does that, but I wish Sinoceratops did it as well. And other ceratopsians. Just buffs herbivores as well. And then Sinosauropteryx gets a high B. I do like it, however, I don't own it, and it is a bit small, but I do like it, and I wish I did have it. So yeah. Sinosauropteryx is a high B tier. It's also got some good colours. I like it quite a bit. So yeah, high B tier. Spinosaurus gets a low A tier. I do quite like it. Yeah. There's plenty of cool things you can do with it. It is based off the movie, so it's very far from accurate. I wish they had a new accurate model. But I like it quite a lot. The fishing thing's unique. Well, not really anymore. But I like Spinosaurus quite a bit in this game. And then Stegosaurus I do like. It's a B tier, probably a mid B tier, because to me it just, there's other dinosaurs I prefer using, however, and it's got kind of bland skins. So yeah, B tier for me, but not too bad, middling B tier. I do like it. And then Struthiomimus gets C tier because, it's Struthiomimus. It's the cheapest dinosaur in the game, and not very entertaining, and yeah, C tier. And then Stygimoloch gets a low B tier because it's okay, but I don't really use it. I quite like it, but I just never use it really because there's just other dinosaurs I prefer. So yeah, low B tier. And then yet another A tier goes to Styracosaurus because I do really like Styracosaurus. I remember it was one of the first dinosaurs I was really into as a kid as well. It's got a good design, very distinctive. I like most of the patterns and colours. The only one you could really confuse it with is also an A tier, and that is what is it? Sinoceratops. But I like the Styracosaurus. I reckon it's a very good design, and A tier for Styraco. And then Styxosaurus I do like. It's the only bioluminescent plesiosaur. I do like that fact. I reckon it makes it look quite cool. There's plenty of things I do like about it. However, the sails are a bit weird. And the colours, other colours are a bit dull on it. But I reckon it's unique and a good creature for the game. And Tapijara, I don't really like. It's really quite ugly in my opinion. There's just nothing I really enjoy about it. It's outclassed by quite a lot of other pterosaurs, and it's just ugly, so D tier. And then Therizinosaurus is a B tier for me. I do like it, but it is a bit ugly. Some of the colours help with it, but I just don't really like it quite as much as a few other species, particularly Deinonychirus. I think it just completely outclasses Theri, so B tier for me. And then Torosaurus is also a C tier. I feel like it's just a bit it's a bit outclassed by quite a few other ceratopsians. And yeah, there's nothing to really excite me, and I feel like I just prefer using Triceratops in my parks because it's more iconic and I like the design more. Speaking of which, next up is Triceratops, and I do like the Triceratops. However, it's not the most exciting thing, and it doesn't really do much. I do like the 1993 skin the most. However, it doesn't have great colorings. However, not the worst. So B tier for me. And then Troodon. Well, it's just small. It does have a few good skins. Oh, that one looks quite good. Yeah. I like it. It's quite small. Probably bump it up a bit. So high C tier for me. And then in B tier is Tropiognathus because I feel like it's just an iconic dinosaur, and I have a lot of nostalgia for it, especially from Walking with Dinosaurs, because I watched that show all the time as a kid. So I just like this Tropiognathus appearance, probably mostly because of nostalgia. And then Centaurosaurus is also C tier because it's okay, but I feel like it's outclassed by quite a few other hadrosaurs. So yeah, it's just not my favourite hadrosaur, and there's quite a few that I reckon are just so much better. And Tylosaurus is in B tier, but a high B tier because it's a really cool species, and it's got a very cool design and quite a few good skins, which is a good thing. I do wish I could eat from the shark feeder, though that'd mean that Mosasaurus is less unique. I do like it, but it's just outclassed by quite a few other marine reptiles. And then Tyrannosaurus T-Rex, I do like. It's got some okay skins. It's a really iconic species. Like, how would you not know? The skins are okay. Everything's okay with it. But the design's really cool. Well, the skins are quite good actually. I like it as a species, and it's quite cool to use in my parks. Even though it is quite overrated. And then we have the feathered T-Rex, and this one is a high A tier for me because it is just so good, and the feathers are great, and I just wish I could have the recolor option for it because that would just make it an immediate S tier for me because I just like this design so much more than the other one. So high A tier for me, possibly even S tier. And then a dinosaur you probably didn't expect to be as low as is the regular Velociraptor. To me it's just not as appealing as the other ones. And there's just so many other better options that you could use instead of this skin. Then we have the 1997 skins, which I do like. However, they're just outclassed by the next skin on or variant for it on this tier list, which is a 2001 variant, otherwise known as Quilliam or McFly. And I like both of them. However, of course, Quilliam's my favourite because it's just so cool. And yeah, A tier for the 2001 skins. Then the OG Jurassic Park Raptor gets a B tier because it's iconic. However, it doesn't really stand out much, but yeah, it's still iconic, so that is enough to earn it a B tier spot for me. Then Wuhorosaurus is in B because I do quite like it. Probably one of my favourite stegosaurs in the game. It's got some pretty good colourings. Yeah, I like it quite a bit, and it's also the last dinosaur that I own, however not the last in the roster. And the final dinosaur is Utyrannus. I really like this design. It's a high S tier because it is just such an amazing design, and I love it a lot. It's got such good colourings. I just like this species, and it's the main reason I want the feathered dinosaur pack along with Dinocaris and Jeholopterus. Dinosauropteryx is also cool. But yeah, I really like Utyrannus. It's unique among theropods for being nearly fully covered in feathers and not very big. So yeah, high A tier for Utyrannus. So here is the different tiers. We have F tier with Scorpius and Majungasaurus, E tier with Archaeornithomimus, and then C tier with all these guys. You can look at them. B tier, followed by A tier, S tier, which is my true favourite, which is some of my favourites, and then the godly tier, which is some of the all-time greats, in my opinion, of this game, and the two best dinosaurs, for now at least. Congratulations, you made it to the end, and yeah, this was a long video, I'm sorry about that. It's a bit hard to rank, like 100 plus things with audio in a short amount of time. So please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and I will see you all in the next one.